Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn how to solve linear simultaneous equations. We've got three success criteria, and the first one is to solve simultaneous equations with the same coefficients. So to be able to solve simultaneous equations, you need to be confident with substitution and also solving equations. So if you don't feel confident with those, have a look at these 4 videos before we start. Now, simultaneous means that two things are happening at the same time. So when we talk about simultaneous equations, we talk about two equations that are happening at the same time. So in these two equations, both the x's represent the same number and both the y's represent the same number. So these are our unknowns, the x's and the y's. The solutions are what they equal, so the 10 and 4 are solutions, and the numbers in front of the letters are known as coefficients. So we need to eliminate one of the unknowns, so one of the letters, so it looks like one of our usual equations. So we need to either get rid of the x's or get rid of the y's. And you want to have a look at which letter has the same number in front of them. So in this one, it's the y's. They both have a positive 5 in front of them. So we can get rid of them. And we do that by subtracting one equation from the other. So we can do 6x take away 2x, which is 4x. 5y take away 5y, which would be 0. And 10 take away 4, which is 6. So by doing that, we've gotten rid of one of the unknowns. We've gotten rid of the y's, so we're just left with one letter that we need to find out. So sometimes we add the equations together and sometimes we subtract them. If the signs are different, then we add them, and if the signs are the same, we subtract. So if we have a look at this green question, you can see we've got a negative 3y and a positive 3y. So because the signs are different, we would add these equations together. In the red question, you can see we've got a positive 3y and another positive 3y. So because the signs are the same, we would subtract them. So let's have a look at this question here. We want to solve simultaneously 4x plus 5y equals 23 and 2x plus 5y equals 19. So we've got equation 1 and equation 2, and we want to get rid of either the x's or the y's by either adding or subtracting the equations. Now we look at which ones are the same. So these ones are both 5y, positive 5y, so we can subtract them. So 4x take away 2x would be 2x, 5y take away 5y is 0, and 23 take away 19 is 4. So we've got 2x equals 4. And now we can find out what x is if we divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the 2 on the x. So x equals 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So x equals 2. Now we know what x is, we can use this to find out what y is. And we can substitute x equals 2 into either of the equations. It doesn't matter which one, I'm going to substitute it into the first equation. So 4x plus 5y equals 23, and I replace the x with the 2 because we now know that x equals 2. So I've got 4 times 2 plus 5y equals 23. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 5y equals 23. And I can solve this. I'm going to use the balancing method to solve this to find out what y is. So I'll get rid of the 8 by taking away 8. And if I do that from that side, I've got to do it to the other side. So take away 8 from both sides. That leaves me with 5y equals 15. 23 take away 8 is 15. And then I can divide both sides by 5. So I'm left with y equals 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So I've worked out that x equals 2 and y equals 3. So there are my answers. Now I can check this by substituting both these numbers into the second equation, because I now know what x is and I now know what y is. So I can substitute both of these into the second equation. So 2x plus 5y equals 19. So that means 2 times 2 plus 5 times 3 should equal 19. So 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 3 is 15, and 4 plus 15 is 19. So yeah, I've got that one right. Here's another one. Again, in this one, I can label my equations 1 and 2. And then I need to think whether I'm going to add them together or subtract them. Now here, they're both 3y, but one of them is positive 3y and one of them is negative 3y. So because the signs are different, I need to add them together. So 6x plus x would be 7x. 3y plus minus 3y would be 0, so they would cancel each other out. And 63 plus 7 would be 70. So 7x equals 70. And then I can solve this to find out what x is. So divide both sides by 7. So x equals 10. Now I've found out what x is, I can substitute this back into the first equation to work out what y is. So 6 times 10 plus 3y equals 63. So 6 times 10 is 60, plus 3y equals 63. So I can take 60 off both sides. That leaves me with 3y equals 3. And then I can divide both sides by 3. That means that y equals 1. So my answer is x equals 10 and y equals 1. Again, I can check this by substituting both these answers into the second equation. So x minus 3y equals 7. So that means that 10 minus 3 times 1 should equal 7. And 10 take away 3 does equal 7. So yeah, I've got that one right. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. You need to match up the solutions to the questions with the answers around the outside of the page. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your answers, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. And there's your red answers. So this time, we've got 8x minus 3y equals minus 36, and 3x plus 3y equals 3. So we need to be able to do this with negative numbers. So you need to be really confident with your negative numbers and just take care. So we've got equations 1 and 2. And I have a look at which ones are the same. So I've got a 3y and a 3y, but one's negative and one's positive. So because the signs are different, I need to add them together. So 8x plus 3x is 11x. And minus 36 plus 3 is going to be minus 33. The y's will cancel each other out because I'm adding them together. So now to find out what x is, I divide both sides by 11. So x equals minus 3. To find out what y is, I can substitute x equals minus 3 into the first equation. So 8 times minus 3, take away 3y equals minus 36. Now 8 times minus 3 is going to be minus 24. So I've got minus 24 minus 3y equals minus 36. So to get rid of the minus 24, I need to add 24 to both sides. So that means I'll now have minus 3y equals minus 12, because minus 36 plus 24 is minus 12. And then I can divide both sides by minus 3. So when we do minus 12 divided by minus 3, when you divide two negatives, they make a positive. So my answer is y equals 4. So that means my two solutions are x equals minus 3 and y equals positive 4. Again, I can check this by substituting both answers into the second equation. So 3 times minus 3 plus 3 times 4 should equal 3. So minus 9 plus 12, does it equal 3? Yes, it does. So I've got that one right. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So for this question, if we number them equation 1 and equation 2, and they're both 3y and they're both negatives. So because the signs are the same, I'm going to subtract them. So 10x take away 2x is 8x, and minus 3y take away minus 3y would be 0, because 2 minuses make a plus. So what you're actually doing is doing minus 3y plus 3y, which is 0. And 5 take away minus 11, again, two negatives next to each other make a positive, so it becomes 5 plus 11, so that'd be 16. So we get 8x equals 16, and then I can divide both sides by 8, so I get x equals 2. I can substitute x equals 2 into the first equation. So 10 times 2, take away 3y equals 5. So 10 times 2 is 20, take away 3y equals 5. So I can take off 20 from both sides. So minus 3y equals minus 15, and then divide both sides by minus 3. So minus 15 divided by minus 3, two minuses make a positive, so my answer is y equals positive 5. That means my two solutions are x equals 2 and y equals 5, and I can check this by substituting them both into the second equation. So 2 times 2 take away 3 times 5 should equal minus 11. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15, and 4 take away 15 is minus 11. So I've done that one correctly. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers, your amber answers, and your red answers. And now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to solve simultaneous equations when the coefficients are different. So in this question, you can see the number that's in front of the y's aren't the same. And same for the numbers in front of the x's as well, they're not the same. So what we need to do is we need to make them the same. So we always try to make the second letter the same, so the one in the middle. So I'm going to times the first equation by 4, and I'm going to times the second equation by 3. Because that would mean I'd have 12y in the middle of both. So I times the whole of the first equation by 4, so 10x times 4, which is 40x, minus 3y times 4, which is minus 12y, and minus 10 times 4, which is minus 40. And I times the second equation, all of it by 3. So 8x times 3 is 24, minus 4y times 3 is minus 12y, and minus 16 times 3 is minus 48. So now I'm going to do equation 3, take away equation 4. because the signs are the same, so I subtract. So 40x take away 24x is 16x. The y's will cancel each other out. And minus 40 take away minus 48 is positive 8. So now if I divide both sides by 16, I get x equals 8 divided by 16, which is a half. So x equals a half. I can then substitute that into the first equation to find out what y is. So 10 times a half, take away 3y equals minus 10. So 10 times a half is 5. So 5 take away 3y equals minus 10. So I can take 5 off both sides. So minus 3y equals minus 15. And now I can divide both sides by minus 3. So that means that y is positive 5. So my two solutions, x equals a half and y equals positive 5. So now I want to solve this simultaneous equation. So 7x plus 2y equals 32 and 3x minus 5y equals 2. So again, I want to make the y's the same. So I'm going to times the first equation by 5 to make it 10y and times the second equation by 2 to make that minus 10y. Now because one's positive 10y and one's minus 10y, I can add them together. So that's 41x equals 164. So I divide both sides by 41, so x equals 4. I can substitute this into the first equation. So 7 times 4 plus 2y should equal 32. So that's 7 times 4 is 28. So 28 plus 2y equals 32. Take 28 off both sides. So 2y equals 4. And divide both sides by 2. So y equals 2. So my two solutions, x equals 4 and y equals 2. I can check this by substituting into the second equation. So 3 times 4 take away 5 times 2 should equal 2. So 3 times 4 is 12, take away 10 equals 2. So I'm right. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So in this question, I want to times the first equation by 5 to make it 15y, and times the second equation by 3 to make it minus 15y. Because the signs are different, I'm going to add them together. So I get 23x equals minus 46. Divide both sides by 23, so x equals minus 2. Then I can find out y by substituting x equals minus 2 into the first equation. So 4 times minus 2 plus 3y equals 11. 4 times minus 2 is minus 8, plus 3y equals minus 11. So I can add 8 to both sides to get rid of the minus 8. So 3y equals minus 3. Divide both sides by 3. So y equals minus 1. So my solutions, x equals minus 2 and y equals minus 1. Again, I can check this by substituting it into the second equation. So I've got minus 2 plus 5 equals 3. So my answer is correct. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. There's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. So the greens made lion. The ambers made elephant. The reds made monkey. And the purples made bear. So now we've completed success criteria 2. We're going to move on to number 3, and this is to form and solve simultaneous equations. This question says Alex buys 6 biscuits and 2 coffees from the cafe for £4.50. David buys 5 biscuits and 6 coffees from the cafe for £8.95. What is the cost of 1 biscuit and 1 coffee? So I can form the simultaneous equation with B standing for biscuits and C standing for coffees. And then I can solve it just like we've been doing. So I can times the first equation by 3, and I can leave the second equation as it is, and I take them away from each other. So I get 13b equals 4.55. Divide both sides by 13. So b equals 0.35. So that means 1 biscuit costs 35p. I can substitute this into the first equation. So 6 times 0.35 plus 2c equals 4.5. So 6 times 0.35 is 2.1 plus 2c equals 4.5. Take off 2.1 from both sides and then divide both sides by 2. So c equals 1.2. So that means a coffee costs £1.20. So a biscuit is 35p and a coffee is £1.20. Again, I can check this, substitute it into the second equation. So 5 times 0.35 plus 6 times 1.2, and it should equal 8.95, which it does. So I've got it right. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So for the green question, Adam and Ben have £3.40 between them. Adam has £1.20 more than Ben. How much do they each have? So I can say Adam and Ben can be A and B. So together they have 3.4. But Adam has 1.2 more than Ben. So A minus B equals 1.2. If I add these together, I get rid of the B's. So I get 2a equals 4.6. Divide both sides by 2. So a equals 2.3, which means Adam has £2.30. I can substitute this into the first equation. So 2.3 plus b equals 3.4. Take 2.3 off both sides. So Ben has 1.1. So that means Ben has £1.10. For the amber question, 3 geese and 1 duck weigh 32 kilograms, 4 geese and 3 ducks weigh 44 kilograms. All geese weigh the same and all ducks weigh the same. So what is the total weight of 2 geese and 3 ducks? So again, I form the simultaneous equation. I can times the first one by 3 and take away the second one. So that means that 5g equals 52. Divide both sides by 5. So g equals 10.4. Substitute this into the first equation. 3 times 10.4 plus d equals 32. So that means that 31.2 plus d equals 32. So d must be 0.8. So to work out the weight of 2 geese and 3 ducks, I need to do 2 lots of 10.4 and 3 lots of 0.8 and add them together. So the total weight is 23.2 kilograms. Finally, the third question. So the values of x and y and all measures are in centimeters. So for this question, we know that the two sides that are opposite each other must be equal to each other. So we can say that 6x minus 2y equals 21 and 2x minus y must equal 6. I can leave the first equation as it is, but times the second equation by 2 and then take them away from each other. So 2x equals 9, divide both sides by 2, so that means that x must be 4.5. Then I can substitute this into the first equation to find out what y is. So 6 times 4.5 minus 2y equals 21. So 6 times 4.5 is 27, minus 2y equals 21. Take 27 off both sides, so minus 2y equals minus 6, and divide both sides by minus 2, so y must equal 3. So x equals 4.5 and y equals 3. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe and be sure to check out the videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.